What's going on, y'all? It's your boy TJ back with another video. For today's video, I'll be giving y'all the top 10 most interesting facts about Mike Tyson. Now, without further ado, like I always say, y'all, I'm gonna just jump right into this one. So, at number 10, Mike Tyson was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame back in 2012. That's pretty interesting because there's one thing for him, obviously he got inducted to, the Boxing Hall of Fame, but this man wasn't even a wrestler, you know what I'm saying? So that just really goes to show you how much people really respected Mike, you know what I'm saying, on that platform and just as a fighter, period, you know what I'm saying? So I think that was really interesting. That was pretty cool. At number 9, okay. He met Muhammad Ali when he was in juvie as a kid. So, obviously everyone knows that Mike Tyson, his idol growing up, was Muhammad Ali. So, to have this man have met him at a very young age in juvie was like him being passed the torch like really early. And I find that like crazy too as well, because it's one thing to say I idolize someone, but to have some people don't even get a chance to meet their idols like that, you know what I'm saying? And some people would even say he became better than them, you know what I'm saying? So at number 8, okay, he owned 3 tigers as pets, which is absolutely insane. Because the tiger is my favorite animal. Okay, I don't know about everybody else's favorite animal, but to say you actually got to own 3 tigers is ridiculous. Okay, because tigers are some of the most vicious, craziest animals, you know what I'm saying, in the world, and have a person have to own 3 of them is ridiculous. And then on top of that, you gotta remember Mike was like one of the first people that made that type of stuff like cool. You know what I'm saying? To be one of the first athletes to go out and own an exotic animal, and not only to have 1, but he had 3. You know what I'm saying? I was watching this one podcast and he was saying that when he was owning the tigers, it was cool that he had them, but they got really expensive because they'd eat so much meat, and you got to keep obviously feeding them, you know what I'm saying, to keep them alive, and sometimes they'd start fighting and shit like that. It's crazy, but I think that was really dope because he was the first person that really I know of that really went to that extent to make something like that really cool, to own an exotic animal. So, and at number 7, he made his first professional debut at the age of 18. Okay. Now, when I look at a lot of like these big sports icons, Mike Tyson, LeBron James, you know what I'm saying? A lot of these guys come into, the league very, very young. You know what I'm saying? And some of the icons, they don't come into a little bit later on, but he started at 18. You know what I'm saying? So for him to make his debut at 18 was something really serious. You know what I'm saying? And for him to have kept going from that point on at age 18, you know what I'm saying? Because sometimes when you're at that certain age, a lot of these critics will sit there and say like, I don't know if he's gonna be that good. He's too young. I don't know if he's probably gonna be okay. There's gonna be a lot of things that they're gonna say to you, you know what I'm saying, or about you at that certain age. So for him to come in to the boxing world and grace us with his presence at the age of 18 and be damn near the greatest boxer to ever live in the world, and to keep carrying on that torch like that was a huge major accomplishment. You know what I'm saying? Not too many people can be able to say like, they started off from this age, kept going, and made their professional debut at age 18, and actually made a huge impact at it. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's very few athletes that I can really say done that, and he's one of them. So now at number 6, as everybody knows, the infamous ear-biting fight versus Holyfield set a record pay-per-view sales that stood for 10 years. Okay, now everybody knows, you know, that huge pay-per-view fight that happened versus him and Holyfield, where, you know, he was losing, and he did end up losing that fight, but he ended up biting his ear off. He ended up biting Holyfield's ear off, and that the sales for that fight stood for 10 years. Okay, the sales for that fight stood for 10 years. And I can understand why, because, you know, the little fact that I'm pretty sure everybody knows, it only takes about 8 pounds of pressure to pull an ear off. You know what I'm saying? So it's not that hard. But for someone to actually sit there and to have seen someone bite someone's actual ear off, and to prove that he's like that much of an animal, a beast, is ridiculous. Like, absolutely ridiculous. Okay, like, I've, like, you know, as a kid growing up watching that, and even, you know, going back today viewing the highlights on that fight, it still is just absolutely mind-blowing. You know what I'm saying? It's absolutely mind-blowing that this man really went into that ring, fought him, and bit his ear off. You know? So, you know, it's just like, did that really happen? You know what I'm saying? Letting that sink into your mind, that he really actually did that. You know what I'm saying? So, it's crazy. At number 5, okay, he tried to pay a zookeeper 10 grand so he could fight a silverback gorilla. Now, let me tell you, okay, I don't care how much of a world champion I would be, how much of a big time fighter I am, but I would never, ever in a million years want to try a silverback gorilla. Okay. Now, like I said before, Mike was a different breed. He's a different animal, a different type of beast to this particular sport here. So, you know, he just wasn't backing down from anything. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, unfortunately, the zookeeper had turned down, you know, the money, because he obviously probably didn't want to get in trouble for that. You know what I'm saying? If anything happened to him. But, you know, the whole thing is just like he did that to prove that he was just that much of a beast. You know what I'm saying? That had to be like one of the most insane things that I've probably ever heard that Mike Tyson wanted to do. Besides, like, you know, probably biting somebody's ear off or whatever. But, you know, to want to go inside of a cage and actually fight a live gorilla, like, man, what? Nah, I'm not doing that. I'm definitely not doing that. But, you know, that to me is just absolutely crazy. So at number 4, he had an infatuation with pigeons and used to breed them. So, you know, with this being said right here, you know, me growing up being a Mike Tyson fan, you know, everybody knows that he likes birds, likes pigeons, and things like that. So, you know, it was very interesting when I found this out, because it was just like, you know, him as a boxer, as a fighter, you know, even as MMA fighters, you know, like, they carry the, you know, the tough persona, and, you know, that never back down mindset. But to see this man actually have, like, you know, a certain love for that particular animal, you know, it's just like, I'd probably picture Mike breeding, like, you know, pit bulls or something like that, you know, just seeing like how his mentality is, his mindset is, and towards certain things. And it's just like, you know, why would you want to breed pigeons and birds? But, you know, come to think about it, maybe it was one of those things that, you know, just calmed him down. You know what I'm saying? in a relaxing way to take his mind off certain things. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody has, you know, that thing that they love doing, you know, outside of, you know, their job, their profession, whatever it may be, to help their settle their mind. And that was probably his thing. You know what I'm saying? So I found that very, very interesting as well too, which actually leads me to my third interesting fact about him. Okay, he got into his first fight at the age of 8. Now, he ended up getting into this fight because this dude had came up to one on a rooftop that he was breeding his pigeons on in New York City. And the dude that came up there opened up one of the cages, took one of the pigeons out, and snapped the head off of the pigeon. And that's how actually Mike ended up getting to his first fight. Okay, now this man, I don't know what business he had going up there, messing with his stuff like that, but I can understand why he wanted to fight him after that. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, you know, he had to do what he had to do. You know what I'm saying? He's going up there messing with him. So, you know, Mike had to handle his business, you know. At number 2, he fought multiple times on drugs. Okay. Now, this was crazy to me because, for one, finding out later on down the line that Mike, you know, used to do drugs and even used to be on drugs while during a professional fight, I would have never guessed. Okay, I would have never guessed, because all the fights that I've watched him, and even the highlights that I've watched him, he's on point, like, all the time. He never messed, like, you know what I'm saying? Besides, like, you know, the 4 fights that he's lost, like, he was always on point. You know what I'm saying? Even the fights that he did lose, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was still on point with, you know, with his punches and all that stuff. So, and he actually admitted to, you know, using marijuana and cocaine during some of his fights. Like, I can't even I can't even really fathom that. Like, really? Like, you use marijuana and cocaine like right before a fight? You know what I'm saying? And that he actually used, like, you know, someone else's piss to pass these drug tests right before the fights happen. So, I mean, to see what Mike Tyson is now, and to see what, like, his actual personality is and how he is as, you know, a guy outside of boxing, absolutely amazes me. Because, like, I mean, I watched his one podcast preview of his where he's on doing an interview with The Game, and him and The Game is actually, like, you know, chilling doing shrooms together. So I was like, yo, this is amazing. Like, we get to actually see, like, how Mike Tyson is, like, you know what I'm saying, outside of the boxing ring. You know, he seems just like a chill dude. You know what I'm saying? Another podcast that I actually seen him doing was $1 Million with The Game. And he's sitting there, you know, he's smoking weed with Gilly the Kid and Wallow, and just chilling, just like relaxing, man. It's relaxing, like. And these are the things too, is like we'll never see, like, you know what I'm saying, like, some of these athletes out here, like, even after they retire, are afraid to, you know, break out of that shell, or, you know, afraid to do things and let loose, like, after they're done, you know, doing, you know, what they've done all their lives. You know what I'm saying? You know, playing basketball for so many years, playing football for so many years, boxing for so many years. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, after y'all retire, you know what I'm saying, now is your time to rest and relax and do what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have the public to, you know, to follow you around everywhere, and you know what I'm saying, like, you know, you still got a reputation with hold, but, you know what I'm saying, it's not as crazy. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I'm glad he's actually enjoying his lifestyle outside of boxing. So, you know. And at number 1, he holds the record for the youngest heavyweight champion, and he was only 20 years old. It's pretty cool to me. Okay. For you to be, you know, like I said, Mike has accomplished tons and tons of things in the boxing world. Okay. And a lot of these boxers, that came after him, a lot of these boxers today, probably won't even see half of what he's accomplished. You know what I'm saying? And for him to really set the tone for, a lot of these guys that's coming in right now, for him to hold a record like that, for, the youngest heavyweight champion at 20 years old, with these boxers coming in today, those are some extremely big shoes to fill. No matter who wants to try to compete with that, wants to be like Mike, you know what I'm saying? Or, or even idolize them. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are some very, very big shoes to fill, regardless of what anybody thinks. Okay? For real. I mean, he like I said, man, he's accomplished so much in the boxing world. I appreciate watching him. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate what he's done for the sport. I mean, he really, truly showed, that barbaric mentality that you have to have for a type of sport like this. Hell, he's even showed you what an athlete should be like. You know what I'm saying? And I know what some people are thinking, like, yo, he's great. Like, what do you mean an athlete should be like? What I mean is, he always had in his mind that kill mentality once he got inside that ring. So what I'm saying is, it don't matter what sport you're playing, whether it's football, basketball, soccer, boxing, MMA, you always have to have that certain type of Mike Tyson mentality when you step into it. You know what I'm saying? That never die type of mentality, that I'm gonna bite somebody's ear off type of mentality, all of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not only one of the the greatest boxers in the world, he's one of the greatest athletes in the world. Okay, so just keep that in mind, But that's all I have for today, for this episode, and I hope y'all enjoyed this episode today. And appreciate y'all listening, and I'll catch y'all next time. All right, peace.